Everyone, hope you're having a fantastic week. Into this video, I got a banger for you guys. Something extremely important that just happened right now. Well, not just what happened right now, but it's affecting people a lot right now, which is an update that Meta did about a month and a half or so. So what happened pretty much, they did a huge update, and what is going on is cost sometimes has literally double, or in some scenarios, nothing is happening. Like, let me give you an example. For us in August, no, in July, I'm looking at it here, we had over 167 book calls. But in August, the month that just passed, I had 62 book calls, so less than half. And they're wondering what the hell is happening. And when I look into it, behold, a new update. And every time Meta has a new update, it tends to fuck a lot of shit up, meaning they just changed the algorithm. They want a new way to us to do conduct our ads pretty much and handle ads manager. And that's what I want to talk about this video, so we could fix that problem. And the reason why I took a little bit to make this video is because I wanted to test it myself, prove that it worked, and then I could talk about it. So let's jump right into it. So it's called the Andromeda update. So pretty much the algorithm now processes over 10,000 more creatives ads pretty much overall. So they want more and more creative testing. That's pretty much what they're saying, that they got a huge influx of different creators, especially with the AI coming up. So they had to make their algorithm a little bit smarter, so they could handle the volume and a new way to actually get into your to talk to ideal avatar. Okay, so old strategy of running 3 creative per week is dead. Okay, if you don't adapt, you'll face sky high CPMs and inconsistent results, right? So this is probably what happened to you right now. Okay, so the new rule is creative diversification. Pretty much diversify your creative testing. So Meta rewards creative variety plus volume. You can't just recycle one main hook with slightly different copy or different wording changes and hope, which that's what used to work before. Like, if you had something working, you could just duplicate it, change the headline, change a little bit of the copy, and boom, bada bing, bada boom, you have a winning creative again. You need different core reasons why someone will want to work with you and for your offer. Okay, and I'm gonna give you some examples here. Okay, 2 winning approach. So part 1, either high volume 50 creative plus a week, that equals 200 a month more, with less messaging variety but resource heavy. So pretty much you can go 2 routes. You go the volume game and just put out as many fucking much creatives as possible, or you diversify the messaging and do less creative, do 10 to 20 per month, right? So that's pretty much the 2 ways that I've seen that has been work. And so what I did was I literally tested, I didn't test 200, I tested like 130 something, and then found like 4 or 5 creative that actually brought me some sales. And then what I'm testing right now is actually diversifying all those ads into different categories. And I'm gonna explain that in a second, okay? So messaging diversification exercise. Write down all the reasons someone would buy your product. Each reason becomes its own ad angle, hook, bot, and CTA. For example, for us, we help people pretty much starting and scaling a funding company, and that's what I will advertise. Hey, if you want to start or scale your funding company, click to make a low, book a call with us. That what we've seen is like no longer working. Like I'm not getting as much as book calls before. So what do? We create specific ads for specific angles. So you write down all the problems somebody might have in your business. For us, they have problem with leads, they have problem with sales, they have problem with funnels, they have problem with AI, they have problem with automation, they have problem with funding, they have problem with tracking, and etc. So I could write down every single problem my client might have in their industry or in the business, and I got to make specific ad to those problems, right? So you get where I'm going with this. So now I'm creating a bunch of ads just about lead generation, a bunch of ads just about sales, a bunch of ads just about funnels, a bunch of ads just about AI, a lot of ads just about automation, about funding services, about tracking, and every other column or vertical in my business that I help people solve. So that's essentially what Meta wants you to do. They want you to just pick one specific thing and focus and make a bunch of ad variation on that thing. For example, for people watching this video, it could be funding. So instead of saying get funded 100 grand, you can be like, optimize your credit, fix your LLC, or get the right data points needed in order to maximize your funding potential. So you got to find new areas and new ways to attack the same problem that your clients may have. Okay, so pretty much like I was saying, and I could give you an example of one of the ad that has been working really well for me. That it was just an ad saying, buy a business in a box, right? And now we'll have the ad with pretty much everything, all my services provide in my offer. And we saw that ad complete take a massive dump and no longer working. So what I'm doing is every part of the business, all my offers, I'm dissecting it and diversifying it and actually creating a separate ad on each individual service. That's pretty much what Meta is saying to us. This is what they want for you to start doing in order to scale with ads, okay? Hook, body, CTA alignment. Don't just swap the hook into the same body. Film each ad as one cohesive story, hook, body, and CTA. So pretty much just to my point, no longer can you just be like, oh, I could just duplicate this copy or duplicate the ad, change the hook a little bit, change the headline a little bit, and boom, we have another winning creative. Now they really want you to redo the whole entire thing with a new angle in mind. So really sit down and think about what are all the problems that my client has to get from point A to point B, essentially, and can I make an ad on all those points to get from A to B, okay? This makes ads last much longer and perform better. That's pretty much what Meta's trying to tell us. Creative control testing. Now, it's all about the creative. This is something that's been happening in the last year or so, maybe a little bit less than a year, that Facebook is pushing more on the actual creative and what you're saying in the creative. So they're less worried about the headline and the copy and actually what you're saying in your creative. So it's very, very important that your messaging inside the creative is dead on to the ideal client that you want, because that's what the algorithm of Meta is going to be optimizing for. So very, very important to keep in mind. I was already doing this previously, but what I was doing is every time I found a winning creative, I just duplicate the winning creative, change the headline. Sometimes I wouldn't even change the headline. Maybe sometimes I'll change the copy. Maybe it's just very small tweaks. That no longer works. That's what Meta is telling us, that you got to come up with a whole different angle every single time you want to scale your ads, which makes it more complex. But what you could do is, once you find an angle that works, just find different variations of that angle. So it's just, how many times can I say, I help you generate leads in multiple different ways, okay? Number 7, which is the last takeaway, the old playbook is gone. To win, pick your path. High volume of diverse your messaging. So pretty much you either do a bunch of ads, like really high volume ads, 50 a week. That's literally what they're saying to optimize for. This is not my numbers, this is what they're literally saying. So or test over 200 ads a month, or diversify the messaging, meaning everything that you have, dissect all your ads and break them up into different little areas. And this way you can test 20 a month, 10 to 20 a month. This is what Meta wants us to do. Brainstorm dozens of reasons people want your product. So you really got to dissect the reason why people want your product and your services, and advertise those individual services. Create AI with the hook, body is all focused on one reason. Creative verification equals survival and scaling. So that's pretty much the main thing I want you to learn, is that in the new update of Meta, they want diversification across the board. They don't want you to just say the same thing. Hey, get your business funded 100 grand in 45 days. They don't. I mean, that is an angle. If you find out multiple ways of saying that, that's really what they want. They want you to diversify your messaging. They want you to diversify your services, so you can pretty much market your different services and different ads. For example, for me, I'm gonna start advertising for AI tools. I'm gonna start advertising for sales training. I'm gonna start advertising for fulfillment training. A lot of our clients need help with fulfillment, so I'm gonna start advertising that. So we need to diversify our marketing so our clients or our potential leads, and depending on Meta's algorithm, can actually get hit and get targeted for the people we want to work with. Okay, this is something very important. I went to great detail on this on my next. I'm going to great detail on this on one of my classes that are coming up for one of my in one of my community for my program, because this is something very important, and it happened quick. I didn't feel it at first. On July, it was in the update started, and July was a really big month for us. We booked 160 something calls. We closed a lot of clients that month. August, towards the middle of August, like week 1.5 or so, that's when I'm like, hey, something is definitely wrong. So the first a month that the update came out, which is July, didn't really see nothing, but now it looks like the update is pretty much across the board that everybody's already on it. And we're seeing clients being like, hey, Javi, what's going on? Like my book calls had completely dropped off a cliff. And this is the reason. Meta made a huge update that they want you to diversify your messaging. So if you want to be successful, if you want to get to the next level, if you want to keep scaling with your ads, you need to start implementing this ASAP or you're going to get left behind.